Next on Yankee Scorecard, Matt Howard's career night gets the Yankee Pennant Express back on track. It's up to Kenny Rogers to keep the momentum, but which gambler will appear? That and former Yankee Mike Stanley on the block in his new home? We'll find out next on the AT&T Yankee Scorecard. It's coming to you live from inside Fenway Park as we take a look down Yawkey Way. The final tickets being purchased for what is expected to be a sellout in Game 3, the final game of this three-game series between the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. And hi, everybody. Mike Crispino with you for Yankee Scorecard. Glad you can join us tonight. Our first telecast here on MSG between these two longtime rivals in 1996. And these are two teams going in completely different directions. The Yankees a 10-game lead atop of the American League East Division, and the Boston Red Sox, the defending division champs, 9 games under 500 and buried right now. A team maybe on the brink of being completely torn apart. The Yankees took Game 2 of this series last night, winning 9-5 despite a mediocre effort from Jimmy Key. He had pitched so beautifully in his last 5 outings, but last night Kevin Kennedy saw Tim Nearing take Key to right center field. It was a 3-run homer in the very first inning, and the Red Sox had an immediate lead, 3-0. But the Yankees came right back in the second against Roger Clemens. Once the Red Sox ace, maybe no longer. The base hit by Matt Howard didn't travel very far, but it was effective. That made it 3-2. And then finally, another base hit on an infield variety from Bernie Williams. That scored Howard, and the Yankees had a 4-3 lead. But they had to come back again, tied at 4 in the 5th. Darryl Strawberry drills the Clemens offering dead center field. His 6th run batted in now in 7 games, and the Yankees had a 5-4 lead. Paul O'Neill scored. He had doubled. He came up again in the 7th, 3-0. The count. Joe Torre gave the green light. His aggressive managing paying off again for the Yankees. And that's another double, allowing Bernie Williams to score all the way from first, despite Lee Tinsley's relay and Jeff Fry's from the outfield. The Yanks had a 6-4 lead. Top of the 8th, more Matt Howard heroics. Drawn in infield. What does he do? Singles up the middle. That gave the Yanks an insurmountable 8-4 lead. Kevin Kennedy could do nothing to rally the troops as the Yankees snap Boston's 6-game winning streak. And afterwards, we talked with Matt Howard about his heroics. As base hits go, if you strung them together and tried to measure them number of feet, you would have had about 100 feet worth of singles maybe, huh?
Well, you know, they don't pay me for distance, so I'm just trying to get on base any way I can. And, you know, I was fortunate last night. I was lucky, but, you know, you got to make your own luck in this game sometimes. And I was just being aggressive and got some breaks.
Situations mean so much. They pull the infield in, and I mean really in. That has to make a hitter's eyes light up.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice about the infield. I was hoping they were doing that. Either way, I was going to be happy. You can't complain with second, third, no outs. I'm glad Joe let me hit, and I just, you know, tried to make contact, keep it in the middle, keep it out of the third baseman's way, and it worked out.
A career night from Matt Howard, 3 runs batted in, and helped Jimmy Key overcome a rocky 5-inning stint. He's the second lefty starter to beat the Red Sox at Fenway this season. Boston had been 15-7 against lefties. Now, the last time lefty starters beat the Sox in consecutive games here, 1994, former Red Sox lefty Bruce Hurst, and Kenny Rogers. Red Sox starters had won 6 in a row before last night. And I spoke with Jimmy Key moments ago about the aftermath of his 7th victory of the year.
My arm's fine. I threw 100-something pitches last night in 5 innings, which is a lot. But you know, my arm is basically the last month and a half has been great, getting better every time I'm pitching, and you know, hopefully that I'm not going to have to worry about it anymore.
Now look at the standings. The Yankees are 57-34, the first time since 1976. They're 23 games over after 91 games, the 10-game lead. The Sox 9 under. They're 16 games back. The Yanks have been in first place now 78 consecutive days. The Yanks have won 11 of 14 on the road, 10 of 13 overall. They made a roster move today, which many expected to happen. The rookie Ramiro Mendoza heads back to AAA Columbus. He had made 9 starts since arriving May 25th, going 3-3 and ERA over 8. Not quite ready for Major League Baseball, but Joe Torre thinks he does have a bright future. Jim Messier will join the Yankee bullpen. He pitched last night in Columbus and the night before, as a matter of fact, and he will go to the bullpen beginning tonight for the New York Yankees. Now to Kenny Rogers, tonight's starter. Rogers 4-0 here career-wise at Fenway Park, 8-1 against the Boston Red Sox, and Kenny Rogers has had an up-and-down year for the Yankees so far. Here he is against Baltimore on Saturday in the doubleheader a 3-2 no decision in that game. It was his 18th start of the year. Yanks have played well for him, going 12-5 in his starts. They've helped him out defensively as they did there. He had 7 strikeouts in that game. He made a couple of mistakes, not here to Roberto Alomar, but later to Brady Anderson. And Anderson, as you know, has been killing the ball all year long. This home run was really the major mistake made by Kenny Rogers in that game. But again, it cost him a possible victory. He is 6-4 as he goes into tonight's start. Now, the AT&T pitching performance for tonight. Rogers, as we said, has won all 4 career starts at Fenway. He'll be opposed by former Kansas City Royal Tom Gordon. The run support has been great for him, highest in the major leagues, but left-handers hit .326 against him. That's the 7th highest in the American League. His record is 7-4. Wade Boggs back in the lineup after missing 2 games with a hand injury. Bernie Williams will bat second. Paul O'Neill, Darryl Strawberry, they can't get him out of the lineup. Tino Martinez has hit home runs against Gordon in 94 and 95. Ruben Sierra back after 4 games out of the lineup, will play in left. Jim Leyritz behind the plate. Derek Jeter at short, and Andy Fox will get the start at second and bat left-handed, of course. Now for the Red Sox, Jeff Fry. John Valentin, just 2 of his last 14 for the Seton Hall product. Mo Vaughn, 139 homers in 681 games to begin his Red Sox career. That is as good as Jim Rice ever did. Jose Canseco. Tim Naring, who's just 3 for 22 career against Rogers. Mike Stanley, 4 for his last 8, the former Yankee. Kevin Mitchell back in the lineup in right field. Jose Malavey and Lee Tinsley rounding it out for Kevin Kennedy and the Boston Red Sox. From Yankees stalwart to bitter rival in Boston and maybe on the move again, Mike Stanley, the former Yankee, on his lingering memories when we return on Yankee Scorecard.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days, where you can lease Jeep Grand Cherokee for $0 down and $329 a month. Lease Cherokee Sport for $0 down and $269 a month, including no charge air. And get deals that are truly steamy on the all-new Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Sure, people ask me why I want to be a McCain French fry. I mean, I am a potato, for crying out loud. Like, I know this one spud ended up in one of those instant mashed potato boxes. He's on a shelf somewhere in Wyoming. I mean, is that a life? I mean, McCain French fries, they're loved all over the world. And honestly, I kind of like the idea of being adored far and wide. It feels good right here.
McCain potatoes become the most loved fries in the world. McCain, the world's #1 French fry.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
It's summertime, Buick savings time, Buick savings time.
It's summer savings time at your Buick dealers. Time to warm up to cool cash savings on Skylark. Premium in everything but price. Now with $500 cash back from Buick. Take $1,500 cash back on Century. Superior value and loaded with features. It's the sale you've been waiting for at your Buick dealers. Time to jump right in.
It's summertime, Buick savings time, Buick savings time.
AT&T Yankees Scorecard is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team, and by The Money Store, where you can refinance your home and consolidate your bills with just one phone call.
Fastball low, Stanley drills it, dead center, lofted on the run, he's not going to get it, it's gone! A grand slam for Mike Stanley! And welcome back to New York Yankees Scorecard. I'm Mike Crispino, joined by Mike Stanley. What a great moment that was last year at Yankee Stadium. 3 home runs against the Cleveland Indians. That, I thought, was the loudest I had ever heard Yankee Stadium. What about you?
That was obviously a big thrill for me, something I had never done in my career, and I was happy to be able to do it in front of the home fans.
You know, that experience of accomplishing something like that at Yankee Stadium, is it better than anywhere else that you've been, Texas and Boston and anywhere else?
No doubt. The fans, they really enjoy accomplishments like that, and they really get on their feet and make 25 or 30,000 people sound like about 80,000.
all winter long, the talks shows in New York and the newspapers and everyone else talked about Mike Stanley not being with the New York Yankees. Now you're a year later, really, midsummer, with the Boston Red Sox. Is it still an issue in your mind as to what has happened and why you're not in New York?
Not anymore. I mean, I labored over it for a long time during the winter, even in the spring training and part of the first part of the year. But you know, there was too many theories out there for me to swallow. So I just you know, knew it was time for me to move on, and they had no longer wanted my services, and so I came over to the Boston Red Sox.
You know, it was interesting, while you were in Texas, you never really got a chance to shine. Gene Michael gave you a chance in New York, and I know, having not been tendered the offer and at least coming to a new team, when you went back to New York, the emotions had to be bubbling over for you. And in that first at-bat, can you describe what you went through when you stepped to the plate as a member of the Red Sox in Yankee Stadium?
Well, I'm starting to get chills as we talk about it. Just a tremendous ovation from the fans. Thought Jimmy Key was very professional by stepping off the mound, a good friend of mine, and allowing me to enjoy it a little bit. You know, I was still kind of humble and didn't take my hat off and start spinning around or anything, but it was really nice, and it's going to go down as one of the biggest highlights of my career.
I would think for a ball player, the close-knit feeling that you develop with a ball club has to be one of the great memories you have. And that Yankee ball club grew during the period of time that you were with them.
Exactly. You know, once we got the clubhouse the way Buck and the rest of it wanted it, you know, we knew that we had a good chemistry in that clubhouse, so we knew that we could win with that team. And we did, and we had some good teams over there. And it made it tough because that's where I got my start as far as my career went, and so I have a lot of things thankful for my time in New York.
Now you're making another start, of course, in Boston. You're in the American League East still. It has not gone well for your club. For you personally, how has it been making adjustment to a new town, a new team, competing against your old team?
Well, the adjustment, you know, I kind of grew into it a little bit. I had a tough time knowing the pitching staff and what made them click. It's been tough for me all year when people ask, you know, why is this team not winning like they did last year? And it's hard for me to sometimes realize it because I don't know what the chemistry was inside the clubhouse when they were winning last year. I just knew that they came out every day with an aggressive style and came right after you.
Does it still hurt when you look across the field now and see the Yankees 10 games up in the league, in the division, and with many of the same guys you played with last year?
Well, you know, there's nothing I can do about it, obviously, but I'm happy for those guys. You know, my good buddies on that team. I mean, obviously, being a Red Sox, I'd like to be in their position, but you know, we're not, and so we're just going to continue to battle over here as Red Sox. But you know, for some of the guys I was really close with, you know, I'm just happy that they're doing well.
The questions around Boston now are about you. What will be your future? Will you be a member of this team? Have you heard the conversations that maybe Mike Stanley might be going to a contending team before this year is out?
I've heard all those rumors, and obviously it's something new for me. I've never been involved in trade talks or going over to another team, so you know, they kind of got me going to where I just want to know if it's going to be true or not, or whether it's just going to be all hearsay and rumor.
Would you welcome something like that?
Well, if Boston no longer, you know, felt like they wanted my services anymore, then sure, I'll go elsewhere. But obviously, it's not in my hands, and I'm not going to try to worry about things I don't have control over.
All right, that's Mike Stanley on Yankees Scorecard. Thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight. We'll be back with more on the MSG Network. After these words, we'll join the MSG Sports Desk for more on baseball.
Catch Yankees baseball on MSG Network, the best in the game.
Ruben Sierra dropped a notch in the lineup, and he hits this one a ton to center field, and this one is gone. Ruben gets the home run. Kitty, I was interested in the eyes of Ruben Sierra as we watch that replay, because in batting practice for the first time this year, he said he wore contact lenses, and he said he would give me a signal when he came out. Oh, there he is. He gave the signal. Yes. Yes, he's got the contact lenses.
On cue. Now in the only New York area appearance, the Diary of Black Men. Emotional, spellbinding.
The Diary of Black Men.
For one night only, Saturday, July 20th, at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Hurry, get your tickets now.
Don't miss the gripping Diary of Black Man.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Page, and coming up here on the next Page One.
Interestingly enough, some of the ogres of history have been very important in the Olympic movement, and one was Adolf Hitler because he made Jesse Owens when he refused to shake Jesse's hand, and Jesse said, by him not shaking my hand, he made me millions of dollars.
It's time for the Olympics. Everybody's talking about the games, and we are too, with Bud Greenspan, the Olympic chronicler, right here on the next Page One.
There's a place in Cooperstown, New York, where memories come to life.
It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
That's it. Number 7 is in the books. The remarkable Ryan has done it again.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Where moments become memories. The Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown.
Deb Kaufman back at the MSG Sports Desk. We begin with Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott. She has been banned indefinitely from Riverfront Stadium after apparently violating the terms of her suspension. Marge Schott agreed to step down from day-to-day control of her team back on June 12th, but she has reportedly been, quote, meddling too much for the tastes of baseball executives, and they have now banned her from attending Reds games. The team she still owns in action this afternoon against the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals, and her team has been swept by St. Louis. The final today was 6-4. John Mabry hit a 3-run homer in the first, and Brian Jordan homered again to pace the Cardinals. It's a sweep as well for the Mets. They take their third from the Phillies on the strength of a weak play by the Phillies right fielder J.R. Phillips. We've got highlights. The final today was 3-2 in an afternoon game out at Shea. Dallas Greens Club fell behind 1-0. Then to the fourth, J.R. Phillips ripped the ball down the line. Alex Ochoa gets to it, and Phillips tested his arm. It looked like Ochoa made the play, but Phillips is called safe. It would cost the Mets the next batter. Kevin Stocker lines a single to left, and Phillips would score easily, and the Phillies led it 2-0. A slight bobble there. Jim Fregosi and the Phillies, though, saw the lead evaporate. Bottom of the seventh, Todd Hundley sends the Terry Mulholland offering to deep left center. It's into the bleachers, into the empty bleachers for a solo home run, and the Mets just trailed 2-1. Later in the same inning, it's Lance Johnson at the plate with a runner on second, and Johnson slices the ball into left. Ray Ordonez sprinting around third, going on the crack of the bat, the good hustle. He slides into home, and he ties the game at 2 to the bottom of the ninth with 1 out. Jose Vizcaíno sends a soft liner to right. J.R. Phillips has a beat on it, but somehow drops the ball. So Chris Jones hustles to third. Vizcaíno ends up on second. The Phillies were in a tough spot. They intentionally walked Bernard Gilkey. That's their decision to load the bases, and they face the next batter, Butch Husky. He lofts a fly ball into right. Phillips makes the catch this time, but it's good enough for a sacrifice fly. Chris Jones scores pretty easily from third, and the Mets go on to win a big game in the bottom of the ninth, the final 3-2, and they sweep the Phillies. Eric Young snapped a 7th-inning tie with an RBI triple, and the Rockies beat the Giants 4-3. One other afternoon game, Cubs and Pirates rained out in Chicago. The Astros and Marlins are underway. It's Al Leiter on the mound for Florida. They are scoreless in the first. All right, stay with us. We're counting down to Yankee baseball at Fenway Park. Still to come, American League scores when we come back.
Somewhere, there's a discount long-distance rep who's got your number. And he's not alone. They called your company last week. They may call you again tomorrow, with some more promises of big discounts over AT&T. But those big savings they speak of, well, there aren't any big savings to speak of. Has a discount long-distance company promised you big savings? Call us for the facts.
The all-new Ford Taurus. What does all new really mean?
A sleek, sculpted shape that hugs the road. A whole new interior with even more room.
So new you'll take a second look.
And now, America's best-selling car comes with new ways to save. 6.9% financing or $1,000 cash back for a limited time. Low financing or big cash back means now's the time to get into a Taurus. New style, new savings.
An all-new reason to ask, why aren't you driving a Ford?
Thank you for calling the Scudder Funds.
This is Eric Bjornson. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm very happy with my Scudder investments domestically, but I understand that you're very good internationally.
Yes.
Well, how much do people invest generally internationally?
Well, that depends. As a rule of thumb, Scudder thinks that up to 30% of a stock portfolio should be invested internationally.
Uh-huh.
What are your goals? Do you have
No commission, no sales pressure. Talk to us before you invest. Call 1-800-SCUDDER.
One loan, one payment each month, and nothing more.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
If you're like most homeowners, you're paying a mortgage, several credit cards, and an auto loan each month. That's why the Money Store introduced the combo loan. With a combo loan from the Money Store, you can refinance your mortgage and consolidate your bills. You'll have one loan, one payment, and write just one check each month.
Plus, the interest can be tax deductible.
One loan, one payment with a combo loan from the Money Store. Call 1-800-LOAN-YES.
AT&T Yankee Scorecard has been brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
Welcome back to AT&T Yankees Scorecard. The Baltimore Orioles will be relying on Kent Mercker to help get them going in the right direction. Mercker hasn't started in more than a month and hasn't won a game since the end of May. We'll have highlights of Baltimore and Toronto later tonight. A couple of afternoon games in the American League. We've got highlights of the White Sox and the Twins. And Kirby Puckett has definitely been missed all year long, and he is still missed. Bottom of the seventh, 3-1 White Sox. Chuck Knobloch smacks a double, and it's off the wall and left. 2 runs will score, and that tie the game at 3. The throw was there in time, but it's a run. Bottom of the seventh, in the ninth now, still tied at 3. Denny Hocking wins this game with the base hit off of the reliever, and it scores Dave Hollins. It's a Twin win, 4-3. One other score for you, a 2-hour rain delay interrupted the Brewers and the Tigers. That game is now 3-2. It's a final in the 10th. Jesse Levis singled in Jose Valentin in the 10th, and the Brewers win that one by 1. It's a 3-2 final. That's a quick look at baseball's headlines from today. We're getting ready for Game 3 of the Red Sox and the Yankees. They've split the first 2. Tonight, it's Kenny Rogers against Tom Gordon. Our coverage continues live from Fenway Park. I'm Deb Kaufman. We'll see you a little bit later on tonight. Enjoy the baseball. It's coming up next.
Up to here, that's the clean, okay? You gotta get the hips under it, right?
Solid
jerk, right up to it, give it a good grunt.
Synchronized swimming is anti-gravitational.
A jab right there in the face and then a hook to your...
People are really getting into the games. Because when you play McDonald's when the U.S. wins, you win game, in between bites of your Arch Deluxe, you can pull for the athletes and win a little something for yourself. Like $1 million instantly.
There you go.
Get to McDonald's and get into the games.
It's just a natural fact of life. As we get older, some of our parts don't work as well. Fortunately, with older cars, you can get those parts replaced at Meineke, where we take good care of every car, young or old. Mufflers, brakes, CV joints, shocks, and struts. High-quality parts and service at a reasonable price. Meineke keeps cars of all ages running like new. Too bad they can't do anything about this 1949 classic.
At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
There are sure to be a few records set during the 1996 Olympic Games. And as the official airline, Delta has already set one. We're the first U.S. airline to fly completely smoke-free worldwide to more places than any other airline. It's not something we did to win a gold medal. We did it so you could breathe a little easier. Delta Airlines.
FedEx uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost? About $12.
UPS uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost? About $6.
The U.S. Postal Service uses over 15,000 airplanes to handle your priority mail 2- to 3-day package. Cost? $3.
So, 12, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
It's late at night. Do you know where your children are? Keep in touch with the Motorola pager from Nobody Beats the Wiz. Excuse me, I've got to use the phone.
Catch Yankees baseball on MSG Network, the best in the game.
Oh, the sweet smell of a well-oiled machine. Strawberry has sparked an offense that finds new ways to score every night and new Yankee heroes to crown every other game. The division leaders are never out of it, always a threat to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and they proved it in 4 straight at Baltimore. Then they arrived in Boston, riding that high, before the hit dog Mo Vaughn shot them down. The Yankees answered last night with a strike of their own and go for the series win tonight. From historic Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, MSG presents New York Yankees baseball. And tonight it's the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox in Game 3 of the 3-game set. Kenny Rogers for the New York Yankees, a career mark of 8-1 against the Boston Red Sox. He'll be opposed by Tom Gordon, who comes in with a record of 7-4. And hi, everybody. Mike Crispino along with Dave Cohn and Jim Cott. Welcome to our first telecast of New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox baseball this season. Game 5 played between the two. The Yankees have won 3 of the first 4 games of the set. Now, this team, the New York Yankees, has been a joy to watch all year. Last night, no exception. There seems to be somebody new every night doing something to help the team win a game. And last night was no exception. Paul O'Neill had 2 doubles. This a key one over the head of the center fielder, allowing the Yankees to score a run. Bernie Williams all the way from first as the Yankees exploded late in their 9-5 victory. O'Neill had 2 doubles and 2 runs batted in, allowing Jimmy Key, who had a shaky 5-inning stint, to win. He was only the second lefty starter to beat the Red Sox at Fenway this season. You can see in '94, Bruce Hurst, Kenny Rogers won back-to-back for lefties. The last time it has happened by New York lefties here at Fenway Park, Rudy May and Tommy John 16 years ago in 1980. So Kenny Rogers will try to do that tonight. Now, of course, it'll be Kenny Rogers against Tom Gordon. The Yankees made a couple of moves. Their bullpen will look differently tonight. Ramiro Mendoza heads back to AAA Columbus. He made 9 starts, went 3-3 with an ERA of over 8 in his time here. Joe Torre thinks he can still pitch, and he will be back before too long, we think. Jim Messier back, his 3rd stint. He'll go to the bullpen and be a right-hander for Joe Torre tonight. Now let's go up to the broadcast booth and join my colleagues Dave Cohn and Jim Cott for more.
Thank you very much, Mike, and nice to have you with us again. You know, for so many years, conventional baseball logic said when you get to Fenway Park, avoid starting a left-hander at all costs. But, hey, we're in the 90s. The Yankees started and won with lefty Jimmy Key last night, and the Yankees actually acquired Kenny Rogers knowing he's had the formula to beat the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's one of those baseball myths, Dave. Fenway Park can be a very comfortable park for left-handers to pitch in, and none better than Kenny Rogers at the start of his career. He's been inconsistent all year. Strikes out Brady Anderson on a good curveball, then comes right back in the next at-bat, fastball down the middle, a home run. That's kind of a story of Rogers' years so far. But in Fenway Park, no pitcher, a left-hander, has ever won his first 5 starts coming into Fenway Park. And should Kenny Rogers win tonight, he would be the first to do that. Only Kevin Tapani, a right-hander, is perfect against the Red Sox in his career at 9-0.
Boy, so a chance to see rare baseball history tonight. Now on the hitting side of things, Darryl Strawberry. He has been the straw that stirs the Yankee drink. He's cost Gerald Williams and Ruben Sierra playing time, but he's actually helped the man who hits behind him, Tino Martinez.
Which is unusual. Most of the time you help a hitter that hits ahead of you by getting him more fastballs, but maybe pitchers relax a bit after facing Darryl because he has been impressive at the plate. And it showed up in Tino Martinez, whose average has gone up to 300. And in Darryl Strawberry, the Yankees thought they were getting a home run hitter. He has hit a pair, but it's been the other things that have impressed Joe Torre and his teammates. Here, as Jeff Fry holds the ball for just an instant, Strawberry hustles home. Joe Torre's been impressed with his base running. He has taken the ball to all fields and is hitting 280 since coming up. Tino Martinez, as I mentioned, since Strawberry arrived, is hitting 300.
Well, when you have a 10-game lead and it's still mid-July, what kind of incentive is there for the Yankees? They need a win tonight to win this series at Fenway Park. The teams have split the first 2. Game 3 is coming up next on MSG.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
That was only the first out of the game.
Make it a Bud Light.
That's a real beaver?
You conquered wild rivers, raced Grand Prix cars, splashed, surfed, dived, and bungee. Now, Action Park
This is sick!
introduces
This is crazy!
the Space Shot.
Blast off like a human missile 200 feet into the air. 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Better than a roller coaster. Only at Action Park.
Action Park, the world's largest water park. Cool down and blast off on Space Shot.
It's summertime, Buick savings time, Buick savings time.
It's summer savings time at your Buick dealers. Time to warm up to cool cash savings on Regal, the fine line between sport and sedan. Fully equipped for only $239 a month. Regal, with standard features you pay extra for on Sable, Intrepid, and Camry. Regal, at $239 a month. It's time to jump right in.
It's summertime, Buick savings time, Buick savings time.
Get serious. Personal stereo for people. Personal stereo with stamina. With sound you can feel. This is Shockwave from Panasonic. Get to nobody beats the Wiz.
We're back with you at quaint and quirky and sold-out Fenway Park, and Tom Gordon, the former Kansas City Royal, is on the mound. Look at that high ERA, over 6 runs per game. And if you add up the hits and the walks, he puts a lot of base runners on. Tom Gordon in the top 10 and allowing runs this year in the American League. Gordon starting tonight for the Red Sox. The Yankees winning last night after Boston took the opening game of the series. So we're set to go, and glad you're with us from Fenway here on MSG. And Tom Gordon will work to a man who sat out the first 2 games of this series, Wade Boggs. And as Boggs gets in the batter's box, you might notice a little bit of a new look for Wade. Average at .321. And he takes a fastball high and away. It's high top shoes being worn by Wade.
He has officially become a player of the 90s, Air Boggs, with the high tops. He's worked out in them before, first time in the game.
And doing it in the ballpark where I believe the first player to wear them, put them on right here, was Bill Buckner back in '86.
Because of the ankle injury, and that's exactly why Boggs is wearing them. Not for style, but for support.
And Gordon falling behind Wade Boggs right at the start. 3 balls and no strikes. Wade got the customary greeting he usually gets at Fenway. Boos as Bernie Williams is on deck to hit second.
You know, I took my headset off, Dave, and the boos come out a little louder. But when you take a longer, there are still an awful lot of people here who are supportive about and appreciative of what Boggs did here during his career.
And he reaches, so Wade will get to put those high tops to use as a base runner with a leadoff walk against Tom Gordon. Now you're wondering about the rest of the Yankee batting order and lineup tonight, and here it is. After Boggs, it'll be Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Darryl Strawberry, the everyday cleanup man. Then Tino Martinez, Ruben Sierra will be in left field, and he'll hit left against the righty Gordon. Jim Leyritz behind the plate, Derek Jeter at short, and Andy Fox gets another start at second base. Bernie Williams digging in now for his first at-bat of the night. He had an interesting afternoon. He got to play at Symphony Hall here in Boston.
Peter Gammons doing a piece on Bernie for ESPN. Took Bernie down to Symphony Hall. And he thoroughly enjoyed that. Peter Gammons was saying he was in awe of the atmosphere there. I think he got to strum his guitar a little bit.
Yeah, he's a classical guitarist. He can also use the guitar and other styles of music, and he has dreams one day of attending the Berklee College of Music, which is actually right across the street from the Yankee Hotel. So the Renaissance man, Bernie Williams, world-class teenage track star, musician, and a pretty darn good baseball player.
Yeah. That stick he's got in his hands has been a pretty good instrument for him this year. Typical of the Yankees, they don't have a a superstar that commands a lot of attention. Even Darryl Strawberry coming in here at the last couple of weeks have probably commanded more attention than most of them. And yet they just play that solid baseball day in and day out. Take their W, go quietly to the clubhouse, and look forward to the next day. And Bernie really is typical of that type of Yankee player.
Mo Vaughn is holding Wade Boggs on at first. Boggs has not stolen a base, and Tom Gordon misses high again. He's behind 3-0 now to Bernie Williams, in danger of walking the first two.
You mentioned the base runners, Dave, and how can Kevin Kennedy have a right-hander with a record of 7-4 and Tom Gordon earned run average over 6? Well, Tom Gordon has received more run support than any pitcher in the major leagues. He gives up a lot, but the Red Sox seem to score a lot behind him. Roger Clemens just the opposite. He has pitched much better than his record indicates, but the Red Sox have not scored a lot of runs when he's on the mound.
Here's how they play Bernie: deep and fairly straight away. This will be a 3-1 pitch from Gordon, and we have time called by our home plate umpire Ted Hendry.
It's typically a hit and run count for Joe Torre, 3-1, but with Gordon struggling with his control, I don't know that he would put it on here.
And taking is Bernie Williams, so the count goes full. Last night here at Fenway had the largest crowd of the season, in fact, in several years. A lot of Yankee fans managed to somehow find their way in and get tickets, as they did down in Baltimore.
You see, Boggs did not run because Joe Torre, like any good manager, does not want to run himself out of a big inning against a wild pitcher.
Now he's going a swing and the miss. The throw down by Boggs must be the shoes. He's in with a stolen base. It's got to be the shoes.
Probably the shoes and the long delivery of Tom Gordon. Bernie Williams, usually a good contact hitter, swings right through the fastball. And because the throw was just slightly to the left field side, Boggs takes a quick peek in, but Fry has to reach for it and can't make the tag in time.
Wade's first stolen base of the year. He had been caught twice before. So the strikeout of Bernie Williams and the steal of second on Mike Stanley and Tom Gordon. Now Paul O'Neill. And for the first time, Gordon starts off a hitter with a strike. O'Neill's had good success against Gordon, 3 out of 10, including a home run. So far in this series, Kitty, it hasn't mattered who has scored first. The Yankees got a 3-run lead in the first game and lost it. The Red Sox had a 3-run lead last night in the first inning, and they lost it.
Typical Fenway Park game, at least 14 runs in each game. Of course, the Red Sox have outscored the Yankees by almost 50 runs, but they don't have the pitching staff, particularly the bullpen, that the Yankees have, thus the difference in the standings. Both teams capable of scoring a lot.
The 0-2 pitch is hit up the middle, off the glove and into center field, but no further advance by Boggs at third. Off the glove of Jeff Fry, who got enough leather on it to prevent Boggs from coming around to score the game's first run. That'll be a base hit for Paul O'Neill. And the crowd is beginning to stir.
Let's take a look at the Red Sox in the field. Jose Malavey is in left field and Kevin Mitchell in right. Tim Naring, John Valentin, Jeff Fry, Mo Vaughn around the infield. Mike Stanley, the former Yankee, catches. Lee Tinsley, he was the Red Sox center fielder last year, went to Philadelphia. They couldn't fill the gap in center, couldn't find someone to play there. They got him back.
Darryl Strawberry now with a chance to pick up an RBI. He's had 6 of those in his first 7 games with the Yankees.
And the impressive thing has been not the power, not the exhibitions he puts on in batting practice with the home run, but his ability to hit the ball to all fields.
Here's the pitch that Tom Gordon is known for, the good curveball taken for a strike by Strawberry. Darrell's hit a pair of home runs, both in the same game in Baltimore. He gets into this one, drives it foul down the right field line. So the runners, Boggs back to third, and O'Neill returning to first base. We're in the top of the first inning with 1 out. And Strawberry with a chance to give the Yankees the early lead in this one. high breaking pitch in for a called strike. And Strawberry is caught looking and shaking his head on that one.
A backdoor breaking ball by Gordon. And this is an early indication. Watch the home plate umpire, Ted Henry. See, some home plate umpires, as Darrell feels that ball is outside, will call that breaking ball where the catcher catches it. Stanley caught that ball outside. On the outside corner, it actually broke around the plate. And then there are some umpires that will make the catcher catch the ball in the middle of the plate. Make sure the entire ball catches part of the plate.
Now let's see if Tino Martinez can come through again with his after Strawberry hitting prowess. That breaking pitch turned him around.
And the reason I mentioned that with Ted Henry, the home plate umpire, is because that is also important to Kenny Rogers. He's had success here in Fenway Park, and he's going to have to command that outside corner, which is what lefties have to do to be successful here at Fenway.
Taken for a strike by Tino, who more than any other Yankee pulls the baseball. He has 3 times as many hits to right field as he does to left field.
Which, as most hitters, when they come to Fenway Park, that will change a little bit. They love to keep that front shoulder in and drive the ball the other way.
Broken bat shot. Vaughn has to get out of the way of the bat, and Fry makes the play to first base. The Yankees leave 2 on in the top of the first inning. Tom Gordon, typical fashion, puts a lot of runners on, but he gets out of trouble. The Yankees fail to score. The Red Sox are coming to bat.
This month, your Toyota dealer is having a huge summer clearance. It's
Nothing draws crowds like Toyota's summer clearance. Save on Camry, car and driver's top choice, and a best overall value in its class. Now with a low $229 a month lease payment with automatic air, power package, deluxe AM/FM cassette, and more. The place to be is your Toyota dealer's summer clearance.
must have been something I said.
Somewhere, there's a discount long-distance rep who's got your number. And he's not alone. They called your company last week. They may call you again tomorrow with some more promises of big discounts over AT&T. But those big savings they speak of, well, there aren't any big savings to speak of. Has a discount long-distance company promised you big savings? Call us for the facts.
If he throws Strawberry a strike and you wanted to take a guess at when would Darrell hit a home run, it would be right now.
He gets into this one way back in right center field, and this one is gone. Good call, Jim Cott.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by Delta Airlines, official airline of the New York Yankees at Madison Square Garden. By your Tri-State GMC truck dealers, the strength of experience. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers.
Fenway Park, Boston, where the Red Sox have played baseball since 1912, actually opening up the ballpark against the New York Highlanders, who, of course, became the Yankees. Kenny Rogers about to start his 18th game. Only once this year has he won in consecutive outings. Kenny Rogers with exactly a hit per inning and a high walk count compared to his strikeouts. He's been getting in trouble particularly by walking leadoff batters in the 96 season. So Kenny Rogers, though, after his 5th straight victory at Fenway Park without a loss, which would make him the first man ever to do that among left-handers here at Fenway. He'll face a former Texas Ranger, as Rogers is himself, and Jeff Fry up to lead off for the Boston Red Sox. Fry takes his 6-game hitting streak into tonight's contest. Little last-minute ground chores for Kenny Rogers as he gets comfortable with the mound. He works off the third base side of the rubber. And he starts off Fry with a called strike. Jeff Fry hitting .247, no home runs. Here's Kenny's position. fact, not only is he on the third base side of the rubber, but half of his foot is beyond the rubber over toward third base.
Ron Perinoski, outstanding relief pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, pitched from that side of the rubber, and with half of the foot off, you cut down a little bit on your leverage pushing off.
In the air to left center field and fairly deep, but Bernie Williams is right under it. And that's the first out as Fry flies to Bernie. Now after Jeff Fry, it'll be John Valentin, Mo Vaughn, and Jose Canseco, the DH in the cleanup spot. Tim Naring having a very good year at third base. Mike Stanley, the catcher. Kevin Mitchell is in right field. Jose Malave, and then center fielder Lee Tinsley.
Pretty impressive lineup that Kenny Rogers has to face. Mentioned the position on the rubber. Even though half of the foot is off, as a pitcher, you try to use the ball of your foot. You try to push off the ball of the foot. And that's what Kenny is doing, just getting a piece of the rubber there on the third base side. And then that pitch, Dave, is probably as good an example as any of why a left-hand pitcher would go over there. It gives you the feeling you have a little better angle on the outside corner against a right-hand hitter. It's like you're throwing the ball away from him, pushing it away from him.
And he brings that one in from that direction as well, so he jumps out ahead. 0-2 on John Valentin.
Left-handers' fastballs tend to move down and away from a right-hander anyway, and this position on the rubber only accentuates that.
Gives it more room to keep moving away.
Yeah, and I like that, and I have a feeling that's why Kenny Rogers has done well here at Fenway Park. You see that pitch backed Valentin off a little bit. He begins to dive in to that pitch toward the outside corner. So Rogers is going to throw, not pitch, but throw the ball inside off the plate to try to keep that outside corner his territory.
Another fly ball to center field. Bernie hesitated in the twilight a couple of seconds, and then he came in to make the catch without much trouble.
Yankees in the field, brought to you by Nissan. Ruben Sierra will play left field tonight. Bernie's in center, Paul O'Neill in right, then Derek Jeter and Andy Fox, the rookies, up the middle. Tino Martinez at first. Jim Leyritz gets the catching assignment, and after missing a couple of games, Wade Boggs with that pad down on the inside of his left hand, actually right hand, is back in the lineup.
Yankees with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, facing Mo Vaughn, and not quite overshifting in the infield, but pulling around against Vaughn. Here's how the Yankees line up in the infield. Vaughn has hit 2 home runs off Kenny Rogers' lifetime. And the fastball taken for a strike. Earlier this evening at 5:30, batting practice, always a good show, and Mo Vaughn looked like he hurt himself, hurt his hand. He's in pain. That was about 2.5 hours ago. Mo has shaken it off.
I was waiting to see if he felt for the, we're talking about Wade Boggs, the pad of that hand, and when you swing like that and are down in the end of the bat like Vaughn is, the first thing you think about is that hamate bone. Jose Canseco had it operated on and removed, as many other players have.
You were right down there, kid.
Yeah, looks like a finger that he injured. We'll see batting practice for the Red Sox with Canseco and Vaughn. Tim Naring has a lot of home runs. Mike Stanley. It becomes showtime, and we were talking before the game. Writer Tim Kirkjian, manager Joe Torre, about Edgar Martinez and what a great hitter he is. And Edgar in batting practice will just try to hit the ball the other way and use his batting practice time to just get loose, time his stroke. He's not interested in hitting home runs.
He tries to hit doubles.
He hits a lot of them.
He has a chance to hit more doubles in a year than anybody ever has. That's where last night Dale Polley of the Yankees struck Mo Vaughn out on a sinker down and in. Got him twice. Really surprised Mo, who was looking for a curveball.
Of course, when I talk showtime for Mo, as Dale Polley looks on from the Yankee bullpen, all the bespectacled look out there, guarding against those sunflower seeds getting in their eyes, I guess.
Well, the Yankees are trying to hit that spot against Big Mo.
Yeah, mentioning showtime, Mo Vaughn puts on an equally impressive show during the game as well as before the game. And this again is a typical Kenny Rogers at bat. He will nibble, take a lot of deep counts, but somehow he is able to survive and give the Yankees a solid outing, better than half of the time.
This will be a 3-2 pitch now to Mo Vaughn with 2 outs in the first. And Mo will take a stroll. He walks and becomes the first Boston base runner of the game.
Number 33, the designated hitter, Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco now with 2 outs and Vaughn at first base. Canseco just 1 behind Mo Vaughn in the Red Sox home run derby. He has 27 and supposedly is playing with a ruptured disc in his back.
Yeah, and he must have some other injuries up in those arms. I mean, NFL camp's about to open and he's ready for it with the gear he's got on.
Well, let's see if they've waived the 3 knockdown rule, because the previous 2 games he has fallen down swinging at the plate. Strike taken by Jose Canseco.
Let's see, he is I guess he would be tight end candidate, right? He'd be
absolutely
that height and weight, about 6'5", 240. Mo Vaughn would too.
I can see Jose as a defensive end, pass rushing specialist. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose has been known to change his batting stances, not only from at bat to at bat, but from pitch to pitch. A wide open stance now.
You see very few hitters hit for high average from an open stance, and yet Canseco is doing a good job this year, not only hitting for average but also for power. Most of the batting champions are the guys with the closed stance, keep that front shoulder in. Jose with a little more of a bail and wail type of swing.
2-1 is the count with 2 outs and Vaughn at first. And nibbling Kenny Rogers misses to Jose Canseco. So both pitchers experiencing first inning problems. Tom Gordon got out of it. He left 2 Yankees on base. Now Rogers getting set to offer 3-1 to Jose Canseco. Ball 4. I don't think it hit him. And Vaughn and Canseco now on with 2 outs. So there's another Kenny Rogers walk. He's all even now in the year with 54 walks, 54 strikeouts.
Concern for Joe Torre, he'll never show it, but in Fenway Park, and Kenny Rogers has had success here, but seldom do you get by with putting men on by way of the base on balls. It's just too easy in this ballpark to make a mistake and have one of those lazy fly balls go off the monster out there. So the one thing you really need to eliminate to pitch well in this ballpark is the walks. Of course, that's true for most parks, particularly here.
Tim Nearing hit a 3-run homer last night in the first inning, and he gets one off the top of the wall here. Sierra will play it back in, and that's going to be a single, but it gets in the first run of the game. Nearing missed a 3-run homer by about 3 feet. Instead, it's a long single, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0.
Number 22, the catcher, Mike Stanley.
Could very well have gone to the All-Star game based on the year he's having. That pitch down and in, dangerous area in any park, particularly here. And Nearing with the average over 300, 15 home runs, almost got that 16th as you mentioned. See that ball down and in where Nearing can drop the barrel on it and pull it, and again the walk's costly to Rogers.
Yeah, Tim Nearing had all-star numbers, probably better than Wade Boggs, who got the fan vote, but then of course Travis Fryman was the only Tiger selected, so he went as the backup third baseman. Now the former Yankee Mike Stanley. And he is all even in the count now, to ball and a strike. Stanley with a typical year for him. Mid-teens in home runs and might get close to 90, 100 RBIs. 1-0 Red Sox in the first.
Hope our viewers got a chance to see the nice interview Mike Crispino did with Mike Stanley, and you really get an idea what a classy individual Mike is. So, you know, very quiet and soft-spoken, and that's his personality, and I think that's one thing that maybe worked against him as the Yankee catcher. I think the Yankees were looking for a little more fire behind the plate. They have that in Joe Girardi.
Yeah, Joe has an infectious personality.
And you can't fake that. Mike Stanley could not change and become that kind of a catcher. The Yankees either had to accept him for what he was or move him or allow him to move, and that's what they did.
Now there's talk that some other teams are interested in Mike Stanley. Baltimore among them. Stanley here is a 3-1 count, so Rogers in trouble again with 2 outs and 2 on. Here's Joe Girardi. He's not catching tonight. Jim Leyritz is behind the plate. Hit hard. Jeter deep at short will go to second, and he gets the force play against the sliding Tim Narin. So in the inning, Kenny Rogers is hurt by a couple of walks. There was an RBI single, and after 1 at Fenway, it is the Red Sox 1 and the Yankees nothing.
Grab a seat and hold on tight. Don't miss all the fast-paced, hard-driving action of Metro Stars Soccer, the real deal, all season long, only on MSG Network.
It is deep, it is carrying, it is gone. Unbelievable, but he still catches it. Ooh, that's hit well. Welcome to the Bronx. Yes, he did. He saves a run and makes the play. Nice stop by Fox. What a play. He got it. A no-hitter for 1 goal. Rivera makes the catch to end the game. And he's got it. Rudy with a great catch in the warning track.
The Yanks head for County Stadium to battle the Brewers after AT&T Scorecard. Tomorrow night on MSG.
It starts as a blank ribbon of newsprint. Then it captures the most important business news from around the globe to become the Wall Street Journal. No one looks at the world quite like the Journal. It not only reports the facts, it tells you what they mean and how they'll affect you, your family, your career. Whether it's news from Wall Street, Main Street, Frankfurt, or Tokyo, the Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights on everything that can affect you personally and professionally. And because our readers use its unique power to help them succeed, we do it again every business day. The Wall Street Journal, always relevant, always useful. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-258-1700. That's 800-258-1700 for the Wall Street Journal.
New York Yankees baseball is being brought to you by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Outside Fenway Park. And tickets very hard to come by. This Yankee series sold out as Ruben Sierra digs in here in the top of the second inning to face Tom Gordon, with the Red Sox in front of the Yankees by a score of 1-0. Ruben Sierra getting a shot to play tonight, batting from the left side. Last time up in Baltimore, he got a hit as a left-handed batter. And he takes the fastball high and away for ball 1.
You mentioned the tickets tough to come by. There was a group came up from New York for your old neighborhood. As you mentioned, there's a lot of Yankee fans, as there were in Baltimore, that have come up here. And the fire department from Brighton Beach, Sheepshead Bay, that's right around where you grew up.
Yeah.
They came up to watch last night's game. Not sure if they had ducats for tonight's game, but they got to see one of the 3.
Those are resourceful people. I'm sure they found a way to get in here.
Did.
Sierra goes after the high fastball. It's 1-2 count.
Looks like Tom Gordon, who is known for that good breaking ball, is establishing his fastball here early in this ball game. He has not thrown a lot of curveballs. Sammy Ellis, the pitching coach, says he has added the now popular cutter to his repertoire.
There it is. He had him set up for the breaking pitch, just the way he had Strawberry set up. 5-4 lifetime against the Yankees, all of those with Kansas City. Ruben gets into this one. Is it fair or foul? It is foul. And he'll have to come back and do it again. He gave it a ride, but it just hooked foul. So Sierra's bid for home run number 10 didn't miss by very much.
That is how far it did miss the pesky pole. That's what they named that down in the right field corner after their venerable coach Johnny Pesky. Remember those great hitting Red Sox teams back in the late 40s, early 50s?
Ruben checked his swing in time on the breaking pitch from Tom Gordon. Chris Chambliss is telling me before the game, says one thing about Gordon's curveball, a lot of times he doesn't throw it for a strike. He tries to get you to do exactly that and chase it.
Well, very few breaking balls in the big leagues are strikes that are swung on and missed. If it's a strike, chances are they hit it.
Ruben hits this one hard, but right at the center fielder who makes the catch, Lee Tinsley. So a couple of real good swings there by Ruben Sierra from the left side.
Gordon challenged him. Shows you good things can happen as a pitcher if you do challenge hitters with your fastball. But going back to your point, Dave, you get ahead with the fastball and throw that breaking ball out of the zone. Most big league hitters, even big league hitters, will chase it.
Ruben, the Yankee left fielder tonight, the third different left fielder in as many games here at Fenway. Jim Leyritz hacking on the first pitch in foul ground. Mo Vaughn will run out of room. Hard to get a foul ball out here.
Tell us about the new approach that you found out that Leyritz. I don't know that I've heard that.
Well, our colleague on WPIX, Rick Cerrone, was talking with Jim and discovered that Jim paid a visit to the eye doctor at the urging of his wife, and he has an astigmatism in his left eye, so he's been fitted with one contact lens. His left eye, the lead eye, is a right-handed batter. A foul ball. And he said the first game he wore the lens, he got hit by Mike Messina.
So obviously he's right-eye dominant, and even though he can see better, or he can see better than he did before out of the left eye, his dominant eye is probably still that back one.
But as a right-handed hitter, they say your lead eye, the left one, is usually the one you do most of the seeing out of. Here's a high chopper. Good play by Gordon. Nicely done as he threw it from foul territory and let Mo Vaughn have a ball that he could handle with Leyritz coming down the line. Quick as a cat coming off the mound, Tom Gordon.
The shortstop,
and Gordon shows you good athletic ability with that high bounder. See, full speed. He's going to go right into foul territory, and then Vaughn wisely moves into foul territory himself so he can see the throw from Gordon. Oftentimes on a play like that, the pitcher will throw it over the runner, make it very difficult for the first baseman to handle it. Gordon played it properly.
Derek Jeter batting with 2 outs in the Yankees second. He drives this one to deep right center field, and it is one bounce off the base of the wall. Tinsley with a quick relay, and Derek Jeter showing good power to right center field, has himself a stand-up double.
Number 26, second baseman, Andy Fox.
Playing like a veteran on his way to Rookie of the Year, Tyler. One of the reasons you can see the veteran come out of Derek Jeter, or the veteran-like play, is we've talked about all the fastballs, first pitch fastballs. Jeter sitting on the bench, standing in the on-deck circle, says, hey, I've seen this pattern. I'm ready for that first pitch fastball. And when you talk to Derek about some of his good at-bats, he'll say that. He said, you know, I watched the pitcher. Messina, for example, threw him all fastballs upstairs till he finally caught up with one, hit a home run.
Andy Fox had himself 2 hits last night. He has earned the start again tonight, even though Mariano Duncan is well enough to play after fouling a ball off the lower part of his leg. There's Jeter down at second with 2 outs. 2-0 the count to Andy Fox. The pattern in this series, the team that scores first has lost. The Red Sox are leading 1-0. And Gordon, who had trouble with his control in the first inning, is now 3-0 to the number 9 hitter. And Wade Boggs to follow. The Red Sox beginning play tonight, 16 games behind the Yankees. Four-pitch walk to the number 9 hitter. Wow.
That probably explains why they're 16 games behind the Yankees. They've scored some runs, but it has been ineffective pitching in things like that. When you're not playing championship caliber baseball, Sammy Ellis, the pitching coach, looks on. Those kinds of things are happening. You walk the number 9 hitter and then have to face a veteran batting champion like Boggs.
A strike to Wade Boggs, who you saw walked his first time up. Boggs only 1 for 12 on this road trip. Jeter's at second. He represents the tying run. Boggs hits it right to third, and Nearing had him played perfectly. So for the second inning in a row, Tom Gordon strands a pair of Yankee runners. The Yankees got a hit, 2 left, and in the middle of the second it remains Boston 1, the Yankees nothing.
Welcome back to Olympic coverage. Now the pommel horse is a great chance for the USA to move up in the medal race, and this young man is probably our best hope for gold. He's off to a good start. Oh man, what form. He's really making this look easy. Into an L. To a handstand. Amazing! Here's the dismount, and he sticks it!
Bud Light, proud sponsor of the '96 U.S. Olympic team.
Now let's check in at the pole vault finals, where we're going to see some people doing...
So it was your brother who referred you to American Express Financial Advisors.
Planning is a concept that we pioneered about 20 years ago.
We're managing about $130 billion in assets.
We got a long time till retirement. I'd take a more aggressive position. And when things change, we'll make some adjustments.
We've got 2 million clients, so you won't be alone here.
Whatever you plan to do, American Express helps you do more.
Looking for a great value in a minivan? Look at it this way. Only Ford Windstar gets a 5-star rating in government crash tests, the highest of any minivan. Windstar has room for 7, tons of room for cargo, and the most powerful engine in its class. Dollar for dollar, it's tough to beat Windstar.
Now get $1,500 cash back on a Windstar, plus no-cost air in the front and rear.
Any way you look at it, Windstar's the one. Now, why aren't you driving a Ford?
Fenway Park, Boston, and as you look in from center field, you see the press box, a 2-story structure high atop behind home plate. And before that was built, apparently there was a jet stream that used to blow out towards center field and carry a lot of balls in that direction. Not quite as many aided by the wind these days. Here's Kevin Mitchell, returned to the Red Sox active roster yesterday. Had not been with the Red Sox since the end of May. He was 0 for 4, but hit a couple of long fly balls to center and to right field. He's slimmed down version.
Speaking of NFL candidates, I mean, these Red Sox, they got a pretty good front 4 working there.
And it has that Ironhead Haywood look. They say he's dropped about 20 pounds. Kevin Mitchell, who played here in '86 as a member of the New York Mets. Well traveled since then and won the National League Most Valuable Player Award. Loses the bat.
Ooh,
look out.
Wow.
Oh,
man. I mean, that's close to a record.
Yep. That cleared the...
Nobody injured, and the fan that grabbed it gets a nice round of applause. Well, a lot of good hitters. A former batting champion I played with, Tony Oliva, will hold that bat very, very lightly in their hands. They don't want to choke the sawdust out of it. And on a hot, humid night like tonight, probably a little slippery and slipped right out of Mitchell's hands. I mean, that almost went down the runway. If that's one of Kevin's favorites, he'll get the bat boy to make a trade with him. Of course, nowadays hitters get plenty of bats, so they can replace it easily.
Kevin has a good sense of humor, and he'll have to make do here with his new bat. Rogers brings in the slow curve, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count. It was 1989 when Kevin Mitchell hit 47 homers, drove in 125, and won the MVP in the National League.
And that's what they'll try to do to him, Dave. When he hit all those home runs and Matt Williams along with it, it was Matt Williams hitting the fastballs and Kevin Mitchell hitting the breaking balls, and you usually see a lot of them in the American League. A lot of breaking balls.
Lined into the glove of Wade Boggs at third base. Must be the shoes.
Man. Anticipate if you're a third baseman, especially with a power hitter like Kevin Mitchell. That ball was behind Wade Boggs. That's great reactions by Boggs. Almost like a goalie in hockey. Good lateral movement and just gets the glove up to make the save or the catch.
Got to be those shoes. A stolen base in that catch. Mitchell is robbed. Well, Boggs got robbed last time up, sort of. He hit a line drive to Nehring. Jose Malave. No damage as the ball gets away from Jim Lawrence.
Young Venezuelan that has worked his way up the Red Sox farm system from New Britain to Pawtucket. Called up this year.
Only his second Fenway start. Batting here with 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. The Red Sox on top of the Yankees 1-0. A bouncing ball. Boggs deflects it. Jeter now off balance and in time. What a play by Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter dazzling with that play.
And you could see Kenny Rogers appreciating what he did. Boggs dives, and fortunately Boggs didn't get leather on it. He couldn't have made this play, but Jeter in the hole, and he doesn't have time to really plant the foot. He throws it off the back foot, but it gives you an idea of the arm strength of Derek Jeter. What a fine play. Yeah, Boggs kind of shortened up the glove at the last minute to make sure he didn't get leather on it, or at least get it in the pocket.
So the defensive play of the game turned in by Derek Jeter. Now 2 outs, and Lee Tinsley, the number 9 hitter. Now Jeter doing it with a bat and with a glove and the arm. Fouled at the plate.
Well, you can imagine the New York baseball fans, the Mets and the Yankee fans that can watch the teams at both, or the games that both of these teams play, and maybe put a highlight package together and compare Ray Ordonez and Jeter, not to see who's better. They're both playing terrific, but just the different styles that they play and the remarkable plays they come up with. I mean, Ordonez makes some just unbelievable plays that you think no one else can make those.
Good pitch by Kenny Rogers.
And yet Jeter will not make quite the spectacular Ozzie Smith type play that Ordonez will, but yet Cal Ripken had more errors at shortstop than Jeter has. He's been very solid, very steady. Seldom you catch him off balance or out of position.
Spun it over the outside corner. He had him set up beautifully. Lee Tinsley is struck out by Kenny Rogers, helped out by his defense. He works a 1-2-3 second inning. So we've completed 2 at Fenway with the Red Sox leading the Yankees 1-0.
Catch Yankees baseball on MSG Network, the best in the game.
The hardwood is where the New York Knicks do their hard work. But when the game is over, there's still plenty of work to be done. Team fundraisers, holiday parties for youth, player clinics, stay-in-school rallies, plus other special events all year long. The Orange and Blue, working for you, on and off the court.
Word association.
Okay.
Ready? Camping.
Connecticut.
Biking.
Connecticut.
Canoeing.
Connecticut.
Hiking, golfing, sailing, gaming.
Connecticut, 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 Connecticut.
I'm noticing a trend here.
Call now for your free Connecticut vacation guide. If you're into the great outdoors, you'll find Connecticut is a great state to get into. In fact, Connecticut is the perfect place for almost anything. It's a relaxing getaway to a charming inn or B&B. Enjoy antiquing, fine dining, exploring the countryside. It's an exciting cultural experience, rich in history, world-class museums, entertainment, and the lively arts. And Connecticut is a great family adventure with beaches, rides, aquariums, hands-on history, interactive education, and so much more. Call now for your free Connecticut vacation guide.
Fishing.
Connecticut.
Cliff diving.
Cliff diving.
Not his sport.
Well, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 1-0, and you can join the Yankees when they take on Juan Gonzalez and the first-place Texas Rangers in a potential playoff preview this Monday night and Tuesday night at 7:30 and Wednesday afternoon at 1. And on Wednesday, all fans 14 and under at the stadium will receive a Yankee baseball compliments of Modell Sporting Goods. And for tickets, you can call Ticketmaster at 212-307-1212. And, of course, you can visit the ticket office at Yankee Stadium. Beautiful night in Boston. Very comfortable. It was very hot this afternoon. Tom Gordon set to work to Bernie Williams in the Yankee third inning with the Red Sox leading it 1-0.
Yeah, I like this park better before they put this addition up on top, but from this viewpoint it is a beautiful view of the skyline and the city and the ballpark.
Well, I asked people around town, people in the know, are there any plans for a new ballpark? And apparently there are not. Nothing concrete. They say it's really tough to get things done in the city of Boston in terms of the politics.
It does not seem to discourage fans from coming out there. They're pretty happy. They're here at about 98% capacity every night.
That crowd last night of 34,000 was the largest they've had in 3 years. Bernie hits it high in the air down the left side. This is the vicinity where O'Neill got a double last night, and that is a foul ball. Not much room in foul territory there. So Bernie back to the batter's box. One venerable Boston institution will go by the wayside later this year, a place where many athletes have frequented, the Elliott Lounge.
Bill Lee's favorite place.
In fact, the story is that during a rainout, Bill Lee walked over there in uniform with his spikes on, sat down, and had himself some refreshments. Bernie lines it in right field for a base hit. Yeah, he sat out a rain delay at the Elliott Lounge, and then while watching TV said, uh-oh, I better get back there. They're ready to play.
Talk about left-handers having success in Fenway Park. What a pleasure he was to watch pitch and to know. A lot of people think of Bill Lee because of the spaceman moniker. I'll tell you, this guy was an intelligent, interesting individual to talk to, as well as an intelligent, effective pitcher.
Didn't he run for president one year?
I might have voted for him. He is still playing about 40 games a year up near the Canadian border. Pitches every third or fourth day, plays first base the rest of the time, having the time of his life.
Paul O'Neill batting here with nobody out. And the pitch is high and away. That's ball one from Tom Gordon. Well, Paul O'Neill, you know he has power to right field, but look how he distributes the ball around the outfield. 34 hits to left, 28 to center, and 35 to right field. So he uses the entire ballpark. And this is not a bad place if you're a left-handed hitter to try to go to left. Gordon missing low, 2-0.
That's why Paul only has 8 home runs. Yankee Stadium is a ballpark for a left-hand hitter that pulls the ball, and Paul uses, as that graphic explained, the entire field. Hits the ball in the gaps. In Baltimore, a lot of those doubles that he hits would be home runs, but not in Yankee Stadium.
Bernie hasn't stolen a base in quite a while. Not going, and O'Neill missing on the breaking pitch down and in. As a matter of fact, the Yankees have hit more home runs than their opposition on the road. At Yankee Stadium, visiting teams have the pull hitters and come up with a lot of home runs. The Yankees hit the ball toward the gaps, and in Yankee Stadium, those are long outs. Vaughn is nominally holding Bernie on. Now he gives Gordon a target. O'Neill gets into this one to deep right center field, and it is gone into the Red Sox bullpen. He pulled that one, and that is his 9th home run of the year, and the Yankees regain the lead on the Red Sox 2-1 as Kevin Kennedy can only look on and do nothing about it. A mixed reception, so there are quite a few Yankee fans on hand at Fenway. O'Neill has given the Yankees a 2-1 lead.
The designated hitter, number 39, Darryl Strawberry.
High five from Derek Jeter. It's the Yankees 2 and the Red Sox 1. Now Darryl Strawberry. Outside ball 1.
Wow, that was a laser shot. And again, this ball was not pulled. It's hit out into right center field. One of the deepest parts of this ballpark. But fastball hitter, fastball pitcher. And Gordon has a good fastball. O'Neill right on time. He was on time with a couple of them last night. This was a rocket. I mean, like a 2-iron out there.
2-0 now to Darryl Strawberry is Paul O'Neill has received congratulations in the Yankee dugout.
As Dave, you were talking about more home runs on the road. You take this lineup and you put it in Camden Yards and the Oriole lineup in Yankee Stadium. That's one of the unique things about baseball and conversation pieces is that every park is a little different side, not the same as a basketball court or a football field. And that's why sometimes statistics can be very deceiving. This ball club would hit a lot of home runs at Camden Yards.
Strawberry draws the walk following the home run. So Tom Gordon very cautious after being taken out of the yard by O'Neill, and then he walks Strawberry.
Kevin Kennedy really upset, and as usual they have a meeting before the game, Kevin Kennedy and his coaches, and one of the things that they've been a little concerned about is the high number of breaking balls that the Red Sox pitchers seem to be throwing. So what happens tonight? They go fastball, fastball, boom, a home run. And now it'll be interesting to see what Mike Stanley reverts to. Vaughn Eshelman, the left-hander, begins to loosen. He worked in Monday night's ball game.
Gordon got out of trouble in the first and second innings, leaving 2 men on in each. And in the third inning, the Yankees strike with a 2-run home run. That's why Eshelman is up and throwing rather early in this game. Tino Martinez batting with still nobody out. And a swing and a miss. Well, you saw Paul O'Neill distribute the ball around the ballpark. Here's the man most likely to pull the ball. Look at that. 3 times as many hits to right as to left.
And that surprises me because I don't think of Tino as a pull hitter. I have a feeling a lot of those 55 hits are to right center field. Still classified as right field, but not right down the line.
He hits this one to center field, and it falls in for a base hit. Jumping on a hanging curveball, Strawberry down to second base. And Tino now gives the Yankees 2 on and still nobody out in this third inning. That's going to get Sammy Ellis out for a conference.
Curveball that hangs out over the outside half of the plate. And Tino with that good, a rather long swing, good plate coverage, gets enough of it to get it into right center field. Here's where a player like Ruben Sierra can work his way out of his slump and the way he's been struggling lately, because you have a pitcher that does not have good command of his pitches right now. He's primarily a power pitcher. The guys that really fool Ruben are the guys that throw him a lot of the off-speed stuff. And you saw the good swings he had in his first at-bat, so this is a great matchup right now for Sierra and the Yankees.
He just missed a home run, pulling a shot down the right field line, then lined out to center field. Eshelman continues to throw in the Red Sox pen. Sierra takes the breaking pitch for strike 1. Yankees 2 and the Red Sox 1. 1 home run for Sierra against Tom Gordon. Strawberry leading off second. Good hack at it, but a foul ball, and so it is no balls and 2 strikes now to Sierra. Strawberry walk following the 2-run home run. Tino Martinez had a single. Here's the man who hit the home run, Paul O'Neill. And Kevin Kennedy went to the bat rack after that home run. Gordon signed with the Red Sox as a free agent coming over from Kansas City. A lot of things went right for the Red Sox last year, and a whole lot of things have gone wrong this year.
Well, those things, when you say things, last year were pitching and fielding. And last year they were good the first half of the season, built up that nice lead. And those are the things that have let Kevin Kennedy and his staff down. The Red Sox have given up a lot of unearned runs, and their pitchers have not been consistently effective.
Good breaking pitch, and Sierra's a strikeout victim here of Tom Gordon. Of course, last year Tim Wakefield got off to that career start.
There's so much for the good matchup. Gordon gets ahead, and again, Dave, as you mentioned earlier, the breaking balls, when they're out of the strike zone, that's when you'll get big league hitters to chase him, and Sierra did. Probably the best sequence that Gordon has had in tonight's ball game.
Third strikeout. There's Tim Wakefield. I mean, you couldn't possibly figure that he would have another start like he had last year when he was 14-1. And then Clemens has slumped this season. Eshelman was effective last year as a starter. He hasn't been in that role this year. Jim Leyrit's hitting now with one out and Yankee runners at first and second.
Aaron Seeley has not pitched up to expectations, and Eric Hansen is not here anymore. Eric Hansen is having a good year in Toronto. You might not look at his one-loss record and say it's a good year because the Blue Jays don't have a strong team, but he's pitching a lot of innings.
Sammy Ellis, the pitching coach, looking on as Gordon tries to work his way out. Leyrit's fouling it back off the screen.
Now, they've gone through as many pitching coaches here in recent years as they have players at some positions. John Cumberland was pitching coach for a while. Al Nipper came in. Sammy Ellis was the rover. They got rid of Al Nipper and brought in Sammy Ellis.
Herm Starrett was in there too.
Yeah, he is now in the bullpen.
Tom Gordon high to Jim Leyrit to see where Buddy Bell is moved around his coaching staff in Detroit.
Took Freddie Kendall, his bullpen coach, put him on the baselines and put Glenn Ezel, who was his bench coach. Why? I don't know. There's Herm Starrett, the pitching coach of mine in Philadelphia.
Fastball taken for a called strike three. Leyritz knew it. He was set up by Tom Gordon and Mike Stanley. So Gordon has come back to strike out the last two.
Leyritz went out after this pitch as if he expected a curveball.
The shortstop, Derek Jeter.
And then walked right away as if he knew it was a strike. Don't often guess with two strikes, but if Leyritz was guessing there, he obviously guessed wrong.
Derek Jeter guessed right on the first pitch he saw. He had a double to deep right center field. He got a fastball and drove it. There's a breaking pitch that's high. Derek has his average at 281.
But they really play him around to right center. You see Tinsley over near the Red Sox bullpen.
On the breaking pitch. 1-1 now. Tom Gordon gave up a two-run homer in this inning to Paul O'Neill. Has come back to strike out Sierra and Leyritz.
Good road trip.
In addition to his hitting, Jeter has fielded very well on this trip. Here's a bouncing ball foul. That Mariano Duncan, yeah, it's his first trip ever to Fenway Park. I said, what stands out about your visit here? He said, you know, it's a long way from the dugout to home plate.
You should like it as a hitter. You very little chance to foul out in this ballpark. Only Jacobs Field has less territory.
Swing and a miss, and Tom Gordon comes back to strike out the side. Gordon hearing it now from the fans here at Fenway, but Paul O'Neill reached him for a two-run homer, and the Yankees lead it 2-1.
Thank you for calling the Scudder Funds.
This is Eric Bjornson. How can I help you? Hi, I'm very happy with my Scudder investments domestically, but I understand that you're very good internationally. Yes. Well, how much do people invest generally internationally? Well, that depends. As a rule of thumb, Scudder thinks that up to 30% of a stock portfolio should be invested internationally. What are your goals? Do you have
No commission, no sales pressure. Talk to us before you invest. Call 1-800-SCUDDER. Okay. Up to here. That's the clean, okay? You gotta get the hips under it, right?
Solid jerk. Right up to it. Give it a good grunt. Synchronized swimming is anti-gravitational.
A jab right there in the face and then a hook to your...
People are really getting into the games. Because when you play McDonald's When the U.S. Wins, You Win game, in between bites of your Arch Deluxe, you can pull for the athletes and win a little something for yourself. Like $1 million instantly.
There you go.
Get to McDonald's and get into the games.
Hello? Hey! Where is everybody?
This month, they're at your Toyota dealer's summer clearance. They know a good deal when they see one, like Avalon, Toyota's luxury sedan, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. At this low $299 per month summer clearance lease payment, with many luxury options standard, Avalon is even further ahead of the competition. Don't be left out. Your Toyota dealer's summer clearance is on now.
Now for deep cleaning, the Hoover Steam Vac. Not a vacuum, it washes out dirt, yet it's easy to use as you're upright.
Hoover, nobody does it like you.